This is something that needs to be very well understood, and what it is, what it particularly is. And it speaks to itself very well, and it's very obviated in the context of the modern age. It is the whoring of the modern woman. The whoring of the modern woman. When you see a cadre of the society walking around, if I can see your vagina in the street, if I walk into the street and you are showing your vagina, you're whoring. What you are doing is you are whoring yourself. And this is it really needs to be understood that this is what is actually going on. This isn't a fashion choice. This isn't an expression. This isn't an expression. What it is a whoring. It is a selling. It is a selling of the self. It is a selling of the body. It is a commodification of the body. And it is the culture that has done unto this. There must be an effort. There must be an effort to combat the whoring of the modern woman, because I dare say there has never been a whoring that ended well. A selling of a sexual being for profit, a whoring. I think that this can't be said to have ever ended well. And yet we were made to believe that it's some naturalistic aspect and right for the modern woman to whore herself at the behest of the market, at the behest. And yes, it is the immediate there is an immediate proclivity to defend the whoring. This is the other concerning part. There's an immediate proclivity to defend the whoring. The whoring is not only done, it is believed to be morally righteous. It is believed to be morally righteous. So this is the context. You've set up a set of values. You've set up a set of cultural beliefs in which whoring is made to be virtuous, is made to be something that is to be proud of. A woman should be proud of being of whoring herself. Proud. Like she wrote a good essay for school. Writing a good essay for school is the same as whoring yourself. You should be proud. So you can see where the values have corrupted, where it's the perversion of value. What is to be valued? Well, the commodification of sexuality, the commodification of the body, and at the behest of those forces. See, this is the thing. Again, these demonic forces, they wear the skin of natural process. They wear the skin of biology. There is no place in the natural world for a whoring. There is a place for a sexual marketplace, but there is no place for a whoring. Because a whoring is done against nature. It is done against nature. And this is the thing. No. I won't stop. Or I won't stop to defend value. I won't stop to defend the morally righteous. I won't stop to defend the spiritually righteous. I won't stop telling you that you're wrong when you're wrong. No matter what's said, no matter what is said. Because what is righteous is the thing that transcends us, that transcends the space and time that we exist in. The moral continuum that stands abreast and in league with truth. This is the only thing. It's not your protestations. It's not the values of the corrupt. It's not the defense of perversion. It's the truth. It's the truth. And and the proclivity to defend the values which are grotesque, which are cartoonish. You paint your face like a clown, and you dress like a whore, and you go into the street, and you ask me to stand aside, and you ask me to stand aside, and you defend it, and you defend it. It is against God. It is against the natural law. And I will not stand aside. I will not stand aside as the crashing occurs, as the culture beaches itself upon distant shores and the shoals of morality, which rear their head out of the sea. And I do see them approaching. I do see this iceberg approaching. And I will not stop crying foul. I will not stop crying fair play. I will not stop crying fair play, because fair play is what is to be had. Fair play is the name of the game. If you wish to play at the game, then the game will be played back. And the tide turns again. And it turns in my arm. It turns through an act of God unto you through me. And this is not to be stood aside at the behest of the demonic. When the demonic defends its own inaction, we stand against that. We stand against that. We stand against that which protests its own righteousness, and it knows that it spurns Christ. It spurns God in its very instantiation. It denies truth, and it goes against the natural order. It attempts to create its own values at the loss of its own perversion. Its own perversion. It perverts itself against God, and then it stands and blames you for telling it that it is heading for those distant shores where it will beach itself and be stranded and be beheaded by the Nantigasket tribes and whatever heart of darkness you may hearken to within your consciousness. But what I know is that there is a price to be paid for spurning God. The spitting in the face of Christ does not come without a cost. In whatever terms, in whatever terms you choose to ideate this, in whatever terms you choose to understand that process, the natural process, the order, and the restoring of the order. This is you can walk out of line. You will be pulled back with a righteous fury, and the price will be paid. You spit in the face of God, and you know it, and you know you have done wrong, because you are a piece of God. You are a piece of truth, and you understand when you turn against yourself. You understand when you turn against yourself. There's no excuse. There's no excuse to be had. There's only an alignment with the forces that go against what is true. There is the demonic. There is the antichrist, anti-Christ, in the opposition to truth. In the thrust against what is righteous. You choose this direction, and you will be pulled back unto that which you have come from, because there is no allowance for this deviation. And and this is the thing, it's a violent price. It's a violent price to be paid. You paint your face like a clown and you go into the street dressed as a whore. There's a violent price to be paid. And this isn't a defense of the demonic. This isn't a defense of the anti-Christ. This is a righteous call to those who have strayed to turn back before there is a penance, to turn back before you are turned back, and you will be turned back. This is the way of nature. You spit in the face of God. You spit in the face of truth, and you will pay. Don't blame me for that. And I will not stop standing. I will not stop standing for the good. And I will not stop standing for the truth. The price to be paid of doing otherwise is what is found. That is what is found. That is what the only price to be paid is the price that is paid on earth. At the level of the soul, for turning against God, for turning against the truth, for turning against the natural way. And you have done it in every step that you have taken. The fallen are called back. The fallen are called back. And does it sound like a Christian rant? Does it sound like some priestly unearthing? Sure. But it's just the consequences of nature. You turn against God, you will pay the price. And you know it. And yet you do it anyways. This is where the demons, we must invoke the demons. We cannot blame the constituents. Mankind does not know what he does. We stand and we view a force. We view a dark force which comes into the fore and plays among the people. What turns us against Christ? What turns us against the Lord? There is a vast realm of demons that are at play. It must be understood. How can you explain a woman going into the street dressed like a whore? How can you explain? How can you explain? There is a vast force. They are at the doorstep, and they will storm what we have built, and they already have. And this is the truth, is they already have. There is a vast horde. There is a vast horde of demons. It must be understood. It must be understood. It must be known. It must be under the granting of there to be some explanation for mankind to turn against himself. Man turns against himself and commits atrocity. He commits genocide. He commits sin. He commits not violence per se, not a mistake. He doesn't make mistakes per se, but he turns against what is righteous. He becomes a grotesque cartoon and a maladaption. He becomes malformed. Mankind becomes a caricature of himself, and that is what you see. You see the modern woman walking into the street dressed as a whore and with the face painted like a clown. You see a caricature. You see a grotesquity. You see a maladaption. You see a malformation, and everyone knows it. You can walk out and see. You walk out and see the truth with your very eyes, yet you choose to deny. You choose to deny what you see. You choose not to believe what is standing before you. Standing before you. Right there to be beheld. And yet you deny. And we can only invoke demons, a vast force and horde of demons, which at the behest of some dark lord and force come into the world of man and invocate these behaviors because they are not natural, they are not of Christ, they are not of nature, they are not of truth, they are some force asunder. Some force asunder which we stand and will fight. We stand and we will fight this force. We will not stand by while a vast horde of demons takes over our planet and our species, because we have fought for too long in the name of Christ, in the name of the Lord. We pray this today,